Welcome. Good evening. It's Monday, January the 2nd, 8:37 p.m. Welcome to Loud and Proud Orlando. It's the first LPO show of the year. So, for the first show of 2023. So, I wanted to actually tell everybody Happy New Year,
Mhm.
to Paola, to David, as well to everyone watching right now. Thank you so much for your undivided support. Drop us a like, subscribe to the channel. We have a couple of news happening about Orlando City. A lot of changes are coming also for the roster. A lot of free agents as well in the MLS. Top free agents, I think. I don't know if our front office has an eye on them yet, but we'll talk about all of that today. Before I dive in and say hello to Paula and David, I'm gonna just encourage everybody again. We are 489 subscribers right now. We're only one away from the 490 and then 10 away from 500. Keep us supporting us. Spread the word. Double click on the bell for all notifications. Subscribe to our channel on YouTube. As well, we are live on Facebook and on Twitter as LPO Podcast. Thank you so much. As well, this show will be on his audio version on Spotify and Apple Podcasts right after. So thank you so much for your support. And also answer the survey. We have a survey after every episode starting this year. That essentially we'll talk about, which player would you like to see in Orlando City in purple coming up, right? What are our needs as a club facing three other tournaments back to back, right? And again, we're really close to that 500 mark. Keep us supporting us. Let us get to that 1K. That'd be great. And thank you so much again for all your support. Paola, Happy New Year. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. I had a great time with my family on Saturday, right? Yeah, Saturday. I don't know what day is today, but but
I woke up a couple of hours ago. Yeah.
excited for this 2023. Um we're less well a month and a couple of days for the season that is going to start. So I'm super excited and happy to be with you and David here today.
Dave, Happy New Year, my friend. Good to see you.
Yes, same here. Happy New Year to everybody. Tomorrow, January 3rd, will be my oldest son's David 15th birthday. So I would like to, give a shout out to. I mean, he's across the room. A big shout out to my son. It's when I became a dad for the first time. So it's a day that I always remember. And also, just like you guys, super excited. I hope 2023 is a good year for everybody. And we're gonna be talking about a lot of cool things today. And I hear that at 655 West Church Street in Orlando, they're talking about the money. They're talking about the signings. We're gonna be talking about some of that.
That's fantastic. Let's read some comments. It says Victor Rivera, Happy New Year's, peeps. Thank you so much, Victor. Joshua Tall, I'm interested to hear the latest rumors. Mark Rodriguez, this is awesome new intro. Mark Rodriguez says saludos al show de dos boricuas y un peruano. Feliz año. Feliz año, Mark. Muchísimas gracias por tu apoyo. Waffles Inc. Hi, everyone. How you doing, my friend? Thank you so much for watching. So let's dive in. So first and foremost, Exploria Stadium. It's been named best stadium in the MLS for fan experience, and I think this was huge last year. We talked a lot about it. I know Dave even I think met the new director of engagement. And it's been nominated for the website called Stadium Journey, which ranks all the stadiums in the MLS. And for the third time, Stadium Journey presented the ranking for fan experience, and Orlando City Explorer Stadium won with 4.71%. Chris Green, He says, which was the guy who they got his review from, says Orlando City is what soccer in the United States is trying to become, and it's a wonderful sight to see. The club has found a perfect formula for fan involvement, stadium location, and overall atmosphere to capitalize on that moment. Attending a game at the Orlando City Stadium is less of an afternoon at a sporting event and more of a life experience. This has to do a lot with the wall for sure, as well. This has to do a lot of the new things that the front office is doing for the fans. And I mean, Orlando's always been a soccer city. I think I am actually very happy when Orlando first came and into be Orlando City Soccer Club in Orlando, and they announced that there was going to be a soccer team coming over into Orlando to play USL. I was static. I was like, I'm gonna, as a fan of the sport for years, I wanted to support this no matter what. However, by any means necessary, let me go ahead and support this. And then it grew to be, in my opinion, the most successful franchise in sports for the city of Orlando. I mean, I don't think there's no one bigger, aside of maybe the Orlando Magic in 1990, 92, and maybe in 2009. After that, I mean, it's all been Orlando City. Orlando City gave the city of Orlando its first uh, major cup trophy. So, I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. Dave, what are your thoughts regarding this selection by StadiumJourney.com?
Well, I was surprised, to be honest with you, because usually uh, this league has served to the interest of their chosen ones. It's always Atlanta, LAFC, and all that.
Portland.
Exactly, Portland. And this time, an independent organization rated everything. And I have to say that it wasn't our best year either, attendance wise. But to me, the barometer, the what I used to gauge our atmosphere are my two friends, Kai and Callum, that came from Stevenage this past year, and people who not only live in the periphery of England, have seen EPL on a regular basis, have seen League One and League Two League One and League Two games with Stevenage, and they have the best football in the world, arguably, right? And they came, and the things that they said to me were, it was fun. They had fun. It was it was interesting. It was a different flavor of football, and they enjoyed themselves, and they wanted to come back. That, my friends, is what uh, Jared Dillon, our VP of operations, set out to do. And we are quick to complain about people, quick to criticize people. Jared came after 2 successful years with the Tampa Bay Lightning. A lot of you that are fans of that NHL team said that the game they experienced there was second to none in NHL. The man came here. He said, "This is what I plan to do," and he laid it out and did the things that he said that we asked him to.
That's
Pints with
right.
pareja, and I finished with this: pints with pareja, opening the preseason games, which at that time we were not going to be able to see them. A lot of the events, I mean, the this past month, as I said in the last show, I had the opportunity to go to the stadium, take pictures with the team photographer, tour the locker room. Those type of things, guys, go a long ways to motivate the people. Obviously, winning a championship will always trump any of that. So I have to say that our history, like Luis said, we had a team that organically grew a fan base, supporter groups that organically grew themselves out of nothing, and the fact that our stadium is a gorgeous stadium. It's a traditional English stadium its design, and the pitch it's gorgeous. I mean, there's nothing wrong. If you ask me, Orlando has the best pitch in MLS, but the fact that somebody without bias says that, says a lot.
That's right. Paola, what are your thoughts regarding that nomination? Well,
Oh, I was
that award.
surprised, like everybody else, but at the end of the day, I was attracted to this, like David said, organically, because I was in a family event with my work. I saw the wall jumping all up and down nonstop in Camping World Stadium, and now we're in Exploria. That is fantastic. And I know that Jared Dillon has not finished the fan base experience. He's just what not even a year, I think, on his position, and he said that he's going to uh, enhance the tailgates experience and even the audio. So imagine the stadium that is already pretty. He's going to enhance. That's one of his plans. I don't know the TBD right on this, but the audio, that was the first thing that he noticed. The audio, because if you go to an NHL game or an NFL game, the audio is much louder. Because I was in a Bucks game the other day. You could be in the bathroom, the restrooms, and you could hear, like, there's speakers, so you can hear while you're buying food or
Wow.
anything, the sound. So I'm impressed, and I'm ready to see what 2023 is going to impact us, the fans, this year.
That's right. Let's read some comments here. Jim D. He says, hoping with a new year and new players, OC can play a different style of football. I think the trade of Rouen might have indicate we will. I believe so as well. Thank you so much. About 17 people live right now with us. Thank you so much for the support. Drop us a thumbs up. The more thumbs up we get on the stream, it will YouTube's algorithm will recommend us to more Orlando City fans. So thank you so much for your support. Mark Rodriguez, I am surprised. I would have never thought Explorer would win this. Messi is staying in PSG for another year, right? Good news for us. No, that's right. So yeah, I will show you the actual website right now, so you guys can see who the this fan base ranked and beat based on this. Um, Here's Explorer Stadium right here. You guys can definitely see right behind my screen. Um, we beat the Portland Timbers, and they have the whole, they have the thorns and they have the timbers, and then they have, they cut the logs and all the good stuff. And then we beat BC Plays, Vancouver Whitecaps. You know what I mean? We beat them. Beautiful stadium as well. We beat Mercedes Benz. I think we should be proud of beating Mercedes Benz Stadium, for sure. Uh, home of Atlanta United. We outplayed Columbus Crew as well, right? And Charlotte FC, newcomers to the league as well. Red Bull Arena, BMO Field, Lumen Field. Look at Seattle. Seattle, that they always had this. Oh, we are the best fan base in the MLS. You're ranked ninth, and he says there are very few sports venues in the MLS that match the pageantry and energy level created the Seattle Sounders games. The name of the stadium may change, but the fan experience remains the same. You may say it's a lumen rating. That's what it says. There you go. So we beat some pretty good pretty good teams, and that shows a lot of the effort that the front office is also putting into improving the fan experience, right? Yeah, which is key. Now, what are your expectations for this year, Dave? Because I think both of you are season pass holders. So,
Yeah, that's
what are your
correct.
expectations?
Well, before I give you that, I have to say that these are the extra official numbers from MLS. Uh, 10,011,578 fans paid for their ticket in 2022 to go watch MLS, which is a triumph not only for our league but for our sport in the United States and Canada. I always say that the football fan in the United States can support their club, can always want to win and all that. But what unites us all is the desire to have a profitable league and teams that don't die like in the past. So I'm super excited for that. And it was great football, in my opinion. It was good football. In attendance, the average attendance was 21,033 fans, and the team with the most attendance was Atlanta, and the team that had the least attendance was my Inter Miami. Um, my expectations for Orlando City are very simple. I would like it off the pitch. If you have, oh, because I understand that Dylan's power ends at the first row. That's what he
Right.
said, and I believe it. The rest is Luis and Ricardo, and obviously Profe Pareja. Um, I would like for physical improvements on the building. The church that was right next to the stadium was purchased. The property was purchased, and that's what Paola was alluding to. How the game day experience is going to improve. This is one of the things that European fans, Latin American fans always say that separates MLS from everywhere else. The tailgating experience, the carnival atmosphere of our pregame, which makes it a family event. Unfortunately, in a lot of countries in the world, taking babies, single women, families, they can't go to games because of the level of violence, the level of the atmosphere, the attitude that is happening. Um, doesn't allow for that to happen. And it seems like I lost the guys. So if you can watch me or hear me, let me know, guys, in the comments.
Now we're
Um,
back. I don't
okay,
know what happened.
I lost you guys. I don't know. I don't know if
Weird.
anything that I said, but I'll finish off with by saying that the tailgating is something that separates our league from everywhere else. Like I was mentioning, the club purchased the church that was right next to the stadium to enhance that experience, like Paula was saying. And in other countries, the ability for single women, for families, for babies to go to games is non-existent because it's not an environment that is conducive to that. So we always get a lot of praise for that. And to conclude, for I would love for Jared Dillon to complete the promise that he made us, that being a season ticket holder was going to have its benefits, which in the past, unfortunately, there was none. So I'm already starting to see events and things like that, and hopefully those events will increase.
That's right. Let's read some comments and then we'll go with Paola. Citrus FC, we hear you. Yes, loud and clear. We see you. Banjo, Emily Dinsmore can see you. Thank you so much. I don't know what happened. I changed my internet company. I do no longer have. I guess I'll say it. They don't. Spectrum. It was horrible. And I have another company now. So I don't know, something happened. But Paola,
Wait, never happened with Spectrum, bro. What happened?
I don't know. Paola,
I thought that it was my internet too, and I'm like, what's going on here?
yeah, yeah, yeah. What are your expectations as a season pass holder coming up for this 2023 season?
Better engagement with the season ticket holders, and I think that's coming. It's just that Garrett is one guy, and we have to let him, his time and his position, and brew something up for us. And also, and this is, I don't know if David can agree with this, but I would love like a package to buy the entire season to tailgate in um that parking spot, because I know that the NFL has it, the NHL has it, that you can purchase the season parking for the entire season. I would love that. I will pay it. I don't like I will do. So I don't know. I'm expecting better activities for us next season and for the fans too, like more stuff, because it was a purpose that they purchased that church next to
Yeah, yeah.
Exploria.
And Paola, the reason why they're not doing that is because they want to give everybody the ability to experience it. Unfortunately, there's no room. That's the reason, like you said, that's the reason why the church was purchased. So we can have permanent structure, permanent
Experience,
activities, yeah,
tailgate.
experience. Yeah,
Gotcha,
yeah,
gotcha.
absolutely. So that's the reason
Fantastic.
for that.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Says Emily Dinsmore, thank you so much. I wouldn't mind seeing a dedicated STM lane for all entry gates. Fast pass for Exploria. I
That's a
agree.
great idea.
That'd be
And
fun.
if I can add, Luis, on that, we the season ticket holders used to have a card that they will present, and they will just let them through. Back in the old days when we were at the
Exactly.
Citrus Bowl, they have taken that. And my overseas teams, Maccabi Haifa and Stevenage, do offer that for those people that are season ticket holders or half season ticket holders. They just present that, and boom, they go through. I think I would love for that to happen again, because it's tedious to just pull your phone and all that. But anyways,
No, no, I agree. And then they're tapping you, they're patting you. They're like, "Sir, let me check your back here. Will you open your arms?" I was like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, no problem."
Emily, I'm gonna bring that up. Hopefully, we're gonna have the season ticket member focus groups again this year. I'm gonna reach out to Jared and find out. But that's a fantastic idea that I think we need to bring back.
Yeah, that's a great idea. But let's dive into. So there's still free top level free agents available in the market for I think key positions that Orlando City needs, especially defensively. And this is not to knock. And we're going to talk about the depth in just a moment. This is not to knock about either Kyle Smith or Holiday. I'm not or Freeman by any means. This is not on them. They're fantastic players. I think they're going to have time to play with the first team. But I think if we truly have ambition to take that extra step, we need to definitely see what's available right now. And as you can see on the poll that we have here on a YouTube channel, I put on there, which MLS free agent would you like to sign to Orlando City? And I took this from the MLS, Alexander Callens from NYCFC, their best player, in my opinion. And I'm not saying because he's Peruvian, he's probably top five center back in the MLS right now. And he's available. And we'll talk about his issue right now that he has with NYCFC and why, they're trying to see what they can do about it. Sean Johnson, former UCF goalkeeper. Obviously, we have Pedro. We just signed him, re-signed him. I really highly doubt that's going to be somebody that we have Ojeda. We have other options out there. You know, Ronald Matarrita or Matarrita, right? Costa Rican left back. He's definitely somebody that's seasoned better in the MLS, a lot of minutes, not having a place. He's out of contract at a Cincinnati. Why not? I mean, these are players that will come in and they already know how to play in the MLS and they will make an immediate impact. So this is no like, oh, let me get used to one season and see how it goes. No, this is like, I'm here to make a statement. Here you go. You're paying me my money. I'm gonna go ahead and deliver what I've learned this past years in the league. And then Ola Camara, former DC United striker. A lot of goals with DC United, even though DC United is a disaster zone. So there are options. Now, 64% of people that are here and live with us right now, and people maybe they just voted and then they decide they're going to watch the show later. 64% of them are saying Alexander Callens. He's a center back, left back. He scored a lot of goals as a left back. Orlando should make an offer. He's Peruvian international. He plays with Pedro. I think the only downfall will be that if Pedro leaves, he's gonna have to leave too, right? But then you have to have depth, right? You have Antonio Carlos, you have Robin Jensen, you have Williams, you have even Hackenberg. In my opinion, he is a great center back. So now, what's the issue with Callens right now? And then we'll go with Dave's opinion and Paula's opinion. Callens right now, according to Alonso, I want to give hello to Alonso, Alonso Contreras, my pal right here. He says the problem that he has is a salary. He's one of the best paid there with general allocation money. right now. He's looking to be a franchise DP, and that's what they're trying to negotiate to close the renewal of the contract. Now, obviously, for me and for I think Alonso and everybody else, he deserves, in my opinion, what he has done for NYCFC. His is pretty big, and what he's done in his national team is pretty big too. He's a starter. Like, there's no replacement for him in the national team. So I think he should now. That's what he's seeking. That's what he's seeking. He's seeking to be paid more than what he's getting paid now. So I think Orlando, I'm just saying he should maybe look into the wallet and see, hey, he'll be an immediate presence right there. And with Antonio Carlos and Robin Jensen, we have a defense, guys. We just had to find the left back, right back portions, but we have three right there. We could play with three men right there, and we'll be bomb diggity. What are your thoughts there, Dave, regarding that? Do you have any other options? Anything else that you've heard?
Well, as far as other options, I'm gonna be quite honest with you. I was looking at, because I'm bored. I just spent 4 days at home doing nothing, and I started watching a lot of our highlights throughout the years. And one of the things that I noticed is we don't have a nanny type player. We don't have a guy that is gonna come out there and create magic. And I would like to see a veteran player that will come in and give us that. As far as the MLS veteran, we need those type of guys to go and to be journeymen. There's piano carriers, piano tuners, piano players, right? And people concentrate on the virtuoso, on the keys, playing the music, but that instrument has to be carried from one place to the other. We don't give a lot of attention to those folks. So in football, it's the same thing. There's some players that have traits that contribute to wins, and not necessarily are the flashy players, and we need those guys too. So we need to build smartly. I actually watched the interview that our friends at P2 Power Play podcast had with Ricardo Moreira. Super interesting. Learn a ton about that, about what it takes to run an academy, run OCB, how much it costs. I was shocked at the amount of money that it costs. The fact is, my friends, is that our club is out there seeking the best players that we can get. Yes, our coffers are bigger. Our club is interested in going to go and get more players because we are the Open Cup champions. Our ceiling in the amount of money that we can spend on roster has increased. The fact that we're going to CCL, that also help us out. And so there's a lot of things that happen in 2022 that have impacted the financial side of the house on a positive manner. And in my personal opinion, there's a player like the gentleman on the screen. It's a possibility. It's absolutely a possibility. Now, are we gonna go for that type of play? I would love to, but I don't know. We already have seen the moves that we're making so far. The moves are ballsy in the sense that in the past Orlando City did not have the money to go after players like that. But we're doing it smartly too. We're not overcommitting. We don't want to be like Atlanta with Barco, where they are gonna eat the $17 million they paid for that kid. And last, before I give the microphone to Paola, the situation in Peru politically is not the best. And obviously Luis knows that because he's Peruvian, right?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I mean, none. And I'm gonna talk about Peru in just a moment
Hmm.
because it's huge right now. What's happening over there? You're talking about the starting 11 of Peru. At least four key players are free agents, and Callens is one of them. Zambrano is the other. So the center back couple, they're both free agents right now of the national team. Conmebol, these are players that have played in Boca Juniors. Zambrano playing Boca Juniors just now. Christian Cueva, which has been a target for Orlando City in the past, and I know for this for a fact, he's a 10. He's like what Mauricio Pereira plays right now. but I believe he's more on a one-on-one, like going one-on-one with somebody. And I'm gonna say this, he's better than Pereira on a one-on-one. Now, Pereira probably is a better passer, and probably a better free kick taker. But on a one-on-one in transition, Quell will destroy you. He'll break your ankles. He's very dynamic on the 1v1. Now, that's just what I've observed of him. He's a free agent. Now, and then we have the second striker of the national team, Alex Valera. He played in Al Fateh in the Saudi league. They did not pay him for 4 months over there. They didn't pay him for 4 months. He went to FIFA. And they released him. Right now, this kid scored 14 goals in the Peruvian league last season, almost the same as Erjan Kar in the Austrian league. Now, obviously, the Austrian league is much better than the Peruvian league, but I'm saying these are readily available players now. Now, none of these four players that I just mentioned want to play in Peru first. They want to find their journey in the United States or Mexico. Now, some of these players do not want Mexico so much because they know that the league is kind of going down in quality. And so they are keening and looking into the MLS for potential work. So, I'm surprised by Collins, for example, a player of his caliber, of what he just gave New York, to be out on the market like this. It's kind of weird. Like, I don't know what NYCFC is doing, having teams like LA Galaxy, like Orlando City with a brand new owner, with LAFC like trying to sign like every single major player from Europe. I mean, you're talking about leaving your one of your best players out and about. So, Paola, what are your thoughts?
I'm surprised that this guy is a free agent. When I saw that list, MLS free agency, and I saw Collins, I'm like, what is going on in New York? Because they're revamping that team. Anyways, I don't care about them. But this play, I'm low key, I'm super fan of Collins. He has proved that he can play left back, and that is something that we need right now. He has scored goals as a left back, and Luis, you can quote me if I'm wrong, but I don't remember how many games he played as left back. I think it was at the end of the season
Yeah,
last
it was at
year
the end. Yeah, he played
that
like
he focused
I will say a whole month.
a whole
He-
month, right? They were
Yeah,
testing him and see, and he succeed. He was scoring goals as a left back too. So why not? Let's see how we can get him if we can. It's free, right?
yeah.
So I'm surprised that he has not re-signed with New York. For being honest, I would love him to play here
Yeah, I
with
mean,
Pedro. So
I think it'll be great. I mean, not just him, but it's like what Brian Guerrero is saying right here. Like he says, we need that perfect balance, right? Young South American, talented, experienced European players, and MLS veterans. LAFC did it this way. Callens could be a Ryan Hollins head. I completely agree with him. Now, Joshua Tall says we do need a veteran. Banjo, we need a veteran 100%. Now, Joshua Tall, how about Rafael Lucas Cardoso dos Santos, which I know I'm going to pass the mic to Dave regarding him. Um, not not too keen on him. I think he's been tossed around a lot in Brazil, right?
That is correct. This is the information that we have about this young player. Rafael Santos is 24 years old. He's from Lonindrina, state of Paraná. He was purchased by Cruzeiro in 2019 and spent loans on the following clubs since: Chapecoense, Inter de Limeira, Ponte Petra, in Coritiba. Ponte Petra and Chapecoense should ring a bell. Chapecoense obviously famous for the sad tragedy where their first team died in Libertadores. I
Yeah,
believe it was going to Colombia a few years back. The airplane ran out of gas and crashed against a mountain. Ponte Petra, we had a friendly with them in 2015 at Exploria, famously when um, the one of our players hurt his knee. Kevin Molina, I'm sorry, I just
Molina.
ran
Not
off.
surprising.
Yeah, and Juan came from Ponte
Ponte
Preta
Preta.
as well. So the guy, not a lot of goals for a left back, which is okay with me because, quite honestly, when Moutinho was here, I mean, he contributed no more than 3 goals a season. Um, my concern is we need to sort the situation with the right back, left back situation. We haven't had a productive left back, right back pairing since 2015. Rafa Ramos and Luke Bowden were
Yeah,
the guys that basically
that's
were
my boy.
fantastic crossers, and we haven't had that since. And I know that a lot of people were sad that when left, the guy has the speed of a demon, but defensively lazy at times. And if you don't believe me, watch how blase Juan defended the second goal that was scored by Atlanta on the game that we won here in Orlando in 2021. It was a golazo. It was a golazo. And Juan just passed the player, just looked at him. They even made the attempt to go for the ball. And when he realized that what had happened, he just like slapped his head, like, "Oh, what did I do then?" So situations like that is why he's no longer in the team. And although I'm on record that I think he's a fantastic person, but we have to, how can I say that? We have to look at this guy as perhaps as a bench player rather than a
Yeah,
starter.
for sure.
The window has opened as of yesterday in a lot of countries, and I expect, and you should have the expectation of hearing a lot of names as the time goes by, because obviously as each league opens the windows, we're gonna be getting players. Our preseason is super short this year. We already know that, you guys correct me, 25th is when our season starts, I believe. So 25th of February, and CCL is coming on the heels of that. So you will assume that we would like to have six weeks of preseason, and which basically 2 week concentration, and after that some games to get this team acquainted, and poof, up we go. So you guys tell me if you agree with that. I'm assuming 6 weeks. That to me, that's what I would feel comfortable with. 6 weeks from opening day. So this is what we have right now with Rafael Santos. And, again, one of the things that I want to clarify is we are not mind readers. We're not gurus. We're not
Right.
know-it-alls. And some of these players, they come in, we do some research on them. Some of the players that had come to Orlando City that nobody knew who they were, Daryl DK, Junior Urso, that come out of nowhere and become this huge fan
Schlegel.
favors. Schlegel, exactly. They come and they show what they have. So I'm willing to give this young man the opportunity. But let's just say, oh, and by the way, Schlegel got here with 3 games for the first team for Racing. He had 3 teams in the first team, and he came to Orlando on loan. And when I had Tiro de Esquina podcast and I interviewed one of the reporters from Argentina about this guy, he basically said nobody knows who he is. He has to show ID to get into his own house. And now, if you go to Argentina and you ask about Rodrigo Schlegel, everybody knows the center back that played goalkeeper in a playoff game. Everybody knows who he is. So that's what football does.
I
It
just, you know,
creates legends.
I mean, I just think, like, I go back to what Brian Guerrero said, right? I think you need a perfect balance. And I believe what you say. I think this kid, Crusader re-sign him, re-sign him for a couple more years because he's 24 and he did had like 4 assists in one season, 5, 6 assists also in the second division. This is when Cruzeiro was in the B League, right? In the B League. So um, a lot of potential for sure, but not an immediate impact. Now we could say the same thing about Ivan Angulo, no? And Ivan Angulo, for example, was somebody that I wasn't expecting him to play this way. Now he adapted to Oscar's system right away, and has been one of our best players in attack right in the end of the season. So, you know, again, personally, if you ask me, I think it's time for the first time. Let us not think small minded. And I think, yeah, a low risk, high reward works, but let's truly like put the money where our mouth is, right? I mean, we have the chance to take away New York's best player. Don't we hate New York? I'm just saying to the fans, don't you guys have a rivalry with New York? How would it feel for Orlando to put the money and get not only a quality player, top five center back in the MLS for sure, um, um, CONMEBOL playing South American starter on a national team, keep Pedro happy right there, right? His buddies coming over, right? A veteran presence out back that's still not like super old. So we're not talking about somebody that's 35 and up, right? We're talking about somebody still that has a lot of gas in the tank, but just just pay. You know what I mean? I think that is going to separate us, especially now with Inter Miami trying to get rid of everybody so they can, open their wallets and just sign everybody. Right. So it's not to play catch up. It's just to truly like live up to the expectation of building a winning team and a team that has depth, like immediate depth. Like for example, this kid right here, he could be a perfect backup for if Collins plays left back, for example, or as well you have Holiday. There you go. You got three good players right there, and then that's how you build it. Cardoso could play one time Open Cup. Holiday could play CONCACAF Champions League, and go from there. And that's how you build the depth, in my opinion. I think Orlando should definitely open the wallet and just definitely invest. I mean, I think that the club after yeah, the U.S. Open Cup. Yeah, watch out with the copyright. With with the actual investment that they're going to make, I think it's going to pay high dividends, in my opinion. What are your thoughts there, Paola?
I couldn't unmute myself, but we just said it before. We have to be smart. I think on loan it doesn't hurt us, right? Because we don't have to pay the player, but we need more depth. And if we can sign Callens, I see more than one trophy this year. That's all I have to say.
Oh wow. Joshua Tall says, "Is Orlando City interesting in Cho West Sung, who is a South Korean forward? Not, I haven't heard anything, but if he's good, I mean, if he's gonna definitely make an immediate impact, is that the kid Cho who made a golazo? If that's
Yep,
him,
I
I'll
think it's that
I'll
one. Yep.
take him. I'll take him. I mean, he has probably better, better
Oh yeah,
prowess.
everybody that went to the World Cup, trust me, their
Yeah,
phones are ringing.
this is muy rico. So I will take him at Tam. That's right. Let's get Callan. Says Joshua. We definitely need a left back though. Even though we have Luke and Kyle Smith, I agree. Jim D. I felt the same about Angulo, and he changed my mind quickly. He's a great player for us. I agree. Banjo Araujo was the biggest surprise for me last season. Banjo, we need a fullback that can cross. I agree with that completely. Thomas Dupree. So what are the odds we play the three in the back, right? And that's a good
No, no.
assessment.
To go to that, we tried. If you guys remember the game against DC United at home, that just went horribly wrong. Not to say that it can't work here. Perhaps the pieces that we had were not the necessary ones. And on top of that, I'm a firm believer that if you try something crazy in a game, it's the expectations are that it's gonna go awry. And in fact, Oscar Pareja asked for forgiveness, or for he said to the fans, "I'm sorry. We tried something new. Wrong, wrong team to do it with, and it just went horribly wrong. But the sky's the limit. We're not married to a formation right now. We are expanding our roster to be one in which the players are here is because they fit the system rather than we can afford them or they're budget friendly. So there's an opportunity for that. And to go back to Jim D's comment about Angulo, I'm the first one, Jim, that I will join you on that comment. Angulo was brought here. Nobody knew who he was, and next thing you know, the kid is a dynamo. And lastly, for Banjo, when Cesar Araujo made the preliminary for the World Cup, people in Uruguay were asking who was that player. Nobody knew who he was in his home country. So imagine how lucky we are that we signed this kid for next to nothing, $3 million, and look at the payout that we had.
Yeah, it's because media over there is like completely, it's either Nacional or Peñarol, and if you're not on any one of those teams, the other teams don't really matter. So Cesar Ajo played for Montevideo Wanderers, and I believe, definitely, Orlando. I think the front office, Ricardo and Luis Musi did a great job on signing him, and just see the potential he had. Now, and the good thing about Araujo is that he adapted well, and a lot. I mean, in the team that we have now, this is the team that we have now. I mean, we have Kara up top, we have Mauricio on the 10, Gaston Gonzalez left wing, Facundo on the right, Wilder Cartagena, Cesar Araujo, Holiday as your left back, Jansen, Antonio Carlos, and Kyle Smith. This is our team right now. Now, what do we need to do? I mean, the depth, right? I mean, I think that not only reestablishing and regaining home field advantage. That's number one. We need to build a squad that the wall and the people that are in this chat right now, more than 25 people watching the show right now, they can take their family and say, "Hey, look, I'm going to watch my team beat Atlanta right now." Like, with confidence, right? Not lose. Unfortunately, I'm going to say this, not lose stupid games, that should have not been lost, right? And then waiting for Oscar to take the whole blame about it, right? So, and what was maybe one of the reasons that occurred last year? Chemistry. And now a lot of these players that are in this squad right now are going to get the chance to do a preseason together. And so the second thing, in my opinion, this should happen is build those connections, build bricks, to build those connections. So when it comes to those 3 or 4 tournaments that Orlando's going to go through, this they play by just knowing knowing each other and knowing how to play together. Because you see in a lot of the games, for example, last season, and this is again, this is development, making connections. You see Facundo Torres raising his hands like, the ball, like, pass me the ball, like what's going on? Like, I'm waiting here, like, and then you see like Benji taking the ball on the left flank, like going crazy, right? So I think chemistry is going to be important. What are some things that you would say, Paola, you would add on top of what I just said?
I think the proper mindset, and it goes hand in hand of what you just said too. Because I remember, and it was in the entire season, Facu was like that, like, "Hey, I'm here, pass me the ball," or even Kara at some point. I think when Pareja got here, they went to Mexico. That was way before the pandemic, and they built that relationship. They need to do it again because half of the players are gone, and newcomers are coming in, and they need to reestablish that connection, and that is super important. Instead of waving, "Hey, I'm here," it's like doing a Messi in the World Cup. He didn't even look at the player, and he was just passing the ball. He knew where that player was going to be. I'm not asking them to be a Messi, right? But that connection is super important. So let's see what the boys are building up this year. And I would love to see that proper mindset to see in the upcoming games.
All right. So let's dive into the team itself. This is to me they're going to be the starters in my opinion right now as January 2nd, 9:27 p.m. So you got Galese, Smith, Antonio Carlos, Jensen, Holiday, Araujo, Cartagena in the mid with Mauricio Pereira as the 10. Left flank, left wing, Gaston Gonzalez. Right wing, Facundo Torres. And right up top as your 9, Urgent Cara. Now, when it comes to, let's start with the striker position. Who do you have as a striker? Obviously, Jack Lynn, he's going to be playing USL, right, Dave? So right
Correct.
right now, Jack Lynn, and then you have that kid from Duncan Maguire, right? Duncan Maguire. So you got Kara and Maguire, right? Duncan and Maguire. Those are your strikers. Now, on the 10 position, you have in the midfield, you have tons of options. Wilfredo Rivera is not going to be playing in Orlando City this upcoming season, too, right? He's going to be playing USL. But we have, I think, on the 10, we have Loyola, right? That kid Loyola, Fabian Loyola, right? And he'll be there. And again, this is a kid. He's Fabian Loyola. He's 17 years old. So, I mean, are we ready to do that? Is he the next Pele? Is he the next Messi?
For that, Luis, Rivera's option was picked. He's gonna be with the team.
Oh, he's gonna be with the
Um,
team. Okay.
yeah, so I will argue that that Rivera could be there. He has international experience. As like I have always said about this kid, I'm biased because obviously I seen him playing with Puerto Rico, but I think he has what it takes. I'm heavy on a guy named Moises Tablante that is languishing in OCV, but that's a story for another day.
All right. And then you have in Cartagena's position, you have Shaq, uh, um, Shaq Mohammed. So
Mohammed, yes.
I'm gonna put Shaq right here. Right. You have Shaq Mohammed. You have then also, if you want to just, you have Jake Mulroney. You know, I don't know if we're going to be with Jake Mulroney this upcoming season, but Jake Mulroney is available, and then we have Felipe Martins,
Yeah, I was
but
gonna say Martin. Yeah, but he's.
let's put him
Mhm.
right here. Let's put Felipe Martins right here. So you have Felipe Martins. So we have a lot of depth right in the mid. If you look at the players that we have right now, I mean, for Araujo's position, you have Felipe Martins. Also, maybe Shaq could play Araujo's position. Cartagena as well. You had Jake Mulroney. So there's depth right there. Right now on the back, let's look at the back and then we'll look at the wings. We have as a right back, we have Holiday. We have also Kyle Smith, which I put him as a right back, but actually no, Holiday it should be a right back. So my bad. So let me change this here. So Smith's right here. So Holiday is right here. Um, and then we have
Freeman.
Alex Freeman from OCB for sure. Now, do you? And then it should have been Ruan right there, right? But he's not there anymore. Correct. Now we have also Salim, right? Abdi Salim, but I would say he's more of a left back, right? Abdi Salim, right, Dave?
You Okay, there we go. You also have the German kid, Grossman. What was his name? I'm sorry. I'm trying to find the rest of.
Yeah, Grasso. Yeah,
Yes,
Grasso.
Grasso.
Yeah,
he
but
can play.
Grasso's a
Yeah, he
center
can
back.
play. He can play left back, right back, and center.
Okay,
So you
we
can,
could put Grasso right now. You're
mhm.
talking about Grasso is a rookie, 24 years old. right?
But he has played professional football in Germany, fifth division
German,
though.
fifth division. Okay, yeah. And then you have Freeman, OCB, Holiday, first team in OCB, and then Kyle Smith. He's the veteran. Now, I mean, let's look into that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now, are these the four you want to take to play against the Sounders? Austin, Real Salt Lake, LA Galaxy, LAFC. I mean, let's think about that, right? Then center back, you have Thomas Williams. To me, is a future for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Talented individual for sure. Then you have Rodrigo, right?
Right.
Rodrigo, and then in
You got Hackenberg.
you got hack. Well, you have yeah, I think I just added Rodrigo. Yeah, but you got Hackenberg. I mean,
You got Hackenberg.
you can call Hackenberg in
You got
here.
Freeman and who else? I think that's it. That's
Yeah,
as far as center
Freeman,
backs.
Freeman. I think it's Freeman is right here. So
Okay. Okay.
now, as he's a right back. He could play the right. Now,
Good deal.
when it comes to Holiday's position, which is the left back position, who do we have? We have
Pedrazo. Mhm.
Lucas Petrazo.
So there you go, Petrazo.
Me agarra el, yeah, ahí está Luca Petrazo. Jugador player from Toronto FC, 22 years old, right? And then you can have Freeman also filling up right there,
Yeah, and then you
and
have
then you have Abdi Salim, right?
Santos
Abdi Salim, right? Abdi
and,
Salim,
and Santos as well.
Well,
which Santos?
Santos is not,
No, he's not signed yet,
Rafael
right?
he's not
Santos is
signed yet.
yeah, but I mean our channels have confirmed that it's a done deal. That's it's just they're just waiting on the particulars, but in Brazilian media already calls it
So they're gonna
done
sign
deal.
a kid that had only had 6 assists.
Loan. He's on loan. He's coming on a
He's on
loan.
loan. Okay,
Yes,
and then
just a loan. 1 year loan.
goalkeeper, you have Galese, Stash, and then Granny.
Green. Yep.
Granny.
And also Ojeda.
Ojeda, which I would take Ojeda a little
Oh yeah,
further,
Ojeda's the
in my
future, my
opinion.
friends.
Yeah. All right. So look, I'm just gonna be completely blunt. Goalkeeper, I wouldn't even look. I wouldn't even look. No one. I'll keep the four that I have right there. There's no, and Sean Johnson. He's never gonna play in Orlando until maybe if Gales ever decides to leave the league, but not right now. Now I feel like on the back we need help, but not. I wouldn't say because they're bad players. Just we need more of a veteran presence. We need some veteran presence. Um, because I mean, Kyle Smith goes down. Let's say he has a little, he needs to rest a couple games. You're gonna put you're gonna bet you're gonna go all in. All in. Here you go, all in on Holiday, Freeman, or Grasso. All bets are off. All my money. There you go. You're gonna go all in to Luca Petrasso, Abdi Salim, Holiday, all in to play to defend the cup. So that's what I'm saying. It's it okay to put that level of pressure on a kid like Hackenberg? I mean, Hackenberg is a hell of a player, and I'm sure all these players can succeed all expectations. But do you truly want to put that big of a backpack? I mean, Orlando just won a championship, first major championship. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I think they need to look into more depth in the back. The front, we have. I mean, and even I will say the striker. We need to look for a third striker because I don't think Kara and Maguire can carry BR9s. That's just my opinion. I don't know. What are your thoughts, guys?
No, well, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Paola.
No, no, no. I agree. We need that second striker veteran, because this kid, we don't know if Maguire is going to have an immediate impact. So are we, like Luis said, are we betting on Maguire? Are we leading? Like, we don't know. When Kara, knock on wood, he doesn't get
Mhm.
injuries or anything. Who are we gonna play? We don't know. So
Right.
let's see if he has an immediate impact. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Oh, with and one of the things, my friends, and Brian, I researched the guy that you're mentioning. It looks like an OCB player, by the way.
He is. He is.
Yeah, yeah, Eric Gunera. The
Genera, he's good.
Yeah, yeah, no, I couldn't remember who he was until I saw that he was from OCB. And he is actually an academy player that has been promoted to OCB. But real quick, guys, we need to look at one of the things that all Orlando City fans and all the talking heads could agree on is the fact that we are not scoring goals, and our home form shows it. Our season form shows it. 14 wins, 6 draws, 14 losses. 9 wins at home, 0 draws at home, 8 losses. Unacceptable. Basically, a 500 at home. Unacceptable. Away, 5 wins, 6 draws, 6 losses. And for the goals that we scored 53 goals. I'm sorry. We had a goal differential of 9. I wrote down the goals that we had against. I didn't write down the goals that we scored, but okay. 20, we scored at home 26 goals, had 28 against us for a -2. We scored 18 on the road, and we received 25 for a -7. Now, if we compare that to the teams that went to MLS Cup, Philadelphia Union had scored 72 goals. 72 goals, my friends, and only received 26 for a goal differential of +46. And LAFC scored 66 goals, received 38 for a goal differential of +28. That's the difference. That's the difference between winning the league and scraping by to get seventh and get shown the door on the first game. We have to score goals. And would I like Kara to like wake up? Absolutely. We don't know what the draft is going to bring this year. You know what I mean? It could be a Dodson, like we drafted a couple of years and the guy amounted to nothing, or we can get another Daryl DK, another Kyle Lair in our hands. I I will say that one of the biggest draws for the people to go to the stadium is seeing their team score goals, go wild, go crazy, win at home. We have to do that. Dylan, if you're listening to this, you know that one of the things that you have told me was that we have to improve the home performance, and with that, it's winning. And you said that to me. So this is where we start. If we score goals, the excitement runs through the city. People come. If we score goals, you know what happens. You know what's the number one rule in football? The team that scored the most amount of goals wins the game.
Yeah. So I do agree with that, and I feel like we have a lot of depth in the mid. If let's say we add, and I'm just gonna say this just to be, I know people are gonna laugh, and I'm sure if Peruvian, if my people from Ladra el Fútbol are watching this, they're probably gonna laugh their butts off. But let's just dream, smoke a pipe dream. Put Christian Cueva here. Now you're talking about, I mean, look up, you have your captain and you have Cueva. Now you have two players that immediately are going to know what to do in a time of peril. They both have the experience to go break lines. They know how it is to play for their under 20s, under 17s national team. They've played in big clubs, all of that. Same with Cartagena. Shaq, he's, I think, a huge prospect. I think a steal of the draft. Jeg Mulroney has also shown some. When he first came, people were very impressed with Jay Mulroney. I think that's a Jay Mulroney we all expect to see this season coming up, and I have no doubt that he will probably give us that and more, hopefully. Then you have Moises Tablante, fantastic player. Felipe Martins, let's see what he can do. You know, and Cesar Araujo again. So I think you adding and paying for a player that's gonna, that's how you create your depth. You know how many options Pareja has for these players, and some of them play defensive mid, some of them plays creative mid, some of them play both, right? Some of them play the wing, like Cueva, for example, he plays the left wing, right? So just imagine that that's how you create depth, right? And right now, like that's what I'm saying. Now, up top, we need another striker. We cannot go play 4 tournaments with Kara and McGuire as our only center buck, center forward couple. We just can't. I mean, we can. I don't know who's available in the market. Ola Camara, you got Paulo Guerrero, which I'm sure Orlando City is probably not going to want to sign. Marcelo Martins from Bolivia. You have a couple of players from the Spanish league too. You guys can look into that. Then on the wings, you got Facundo Torres, Ivan Angulo, and Gaston Gonzalez. Right? I think we're good there. And I think the back, right? The back, I think we need another veteran princess, another mid player that could play the wing also, and maybe a center back, left back combo person. That would be my choice, my ideal choice. Now I don't know what Orlando will do, but definitely. I mean, and I'm not saying this you got Martin Ojeda as well. See. So you have Martin Ojeda. So Martin Ojeda, he's a left wing, right? So he'll be right here. So look, we're stacked on the wings, and then the mid on the wings, like this whole mid area, we're Gucci, like kids would say, we're Gucci right now with the players that we have right here: Shaq, Moreni, Ojeda, Angulo, Gonzalez, Pereira, Loyola, Tablante, Araujo, Facundo Torres. We're fine. Cartagena. The problem is who's going to score the goals and who's going to run back to defend, because we have AC and we have Robin, and their quality and their money. But then right behind them, you got Hackenberg, okay? You got Thomas Williams, Rodrigo. You're going to go with those. What about left back and right back? You're going to put your money on Grasso, and we just drafted him. You're going to put your money on Abdi Salim, on Luca Petrasso from TFC. So that's the question I'm trying to ask people, right? So let's see here. Brian Guerrero, it says here, Franco Fagundes could play attacking mid and striker. That's another deal we should reattempt. No, I think Dave, you knew somebody about Franco Fagundes, that right?
Yeah, I'm actually working to answer the question that Thomas Dupree asked us. Excuse me. And so, but yeah, the situation with Fagundes, it looks like he's not coming to Orlando City. Nacional wants $8 million, although our sources told us that the club was willing to take less money. The fact is that it looks like Vasco da Gama is going to be the place where he's going to go. Our sources told us, listen, the fact is Orlando City is not going to be begging people for players. We are not here to give
Right.
the Wolves money away. And if they want to play hardball, they can play hardball with somebody else, which is very incredibly mature and strong from our team. That we are not going to be, nobody's going to
Bullied.
mess with us, you know. So that's the situation with Fagundes.
That's fantastic. Let's read some comments. Martin Ojeda, we already talked about him. Juan Chacayan, thank you so much for watching the show. Appreciate it. We're about 21 people live right now, 14 likes. Thank you so much. Drop us a like and a thumbs up. Thank you. Cuevas will be a great addition. Definitely a playmaker. Yeah, he's a playmaker. And he could play the left wing. He could play the mid, the 10. And the thing about Cueva is you need to keep Cueva happy. And he loves to be so free up in the mid. I think having players like Mauricio, like Facundo, and let's say Christian Cueva, man, we will be a threat. The thing is, who's gonna get the ball inside the net, right? I mean, that's gonna be because they're fantastic players, but who's going to score the goals, right? We're going to put our money on Urgent. I think he's a great player for sure, but we need someone else too. Let's see. Thomas Dupree, curious how many goals we scored from June through August. Yep. But
And I have those numbers, my friend. We scored 26 goals and we received 22. So those are the numbers. August, July, June, July were dismal years, months for Orlando City. That's when we went on a nosedive. So it wasn't great. I mean, just because we score a bunch of goals, for example, at home we scored 3 goals. Great. Bad news is DC United scored 5 on us at home. So the numbers sometimes mask the reality that we had a lot of ties, and unfortunately, sometimes we had high scoring games where we ended up losing the games themselves. DC United was one of those teams that was a lesson for us. We would go to their house, we're winning 2-0 at the 90th minute, and before the game is over, we have lost 3-2. Somebody explain to how that happened, and they're like, "Oh, is the Wayne Rooney effect?" Well, I got news for you. Wayne Rooney did not win another game the whole season, just that one.
no, that's a great, yeah, yeah. Thomas Dupree, does Oscar need to win a trophy to have a successful season? He says we need to find a way to make to summer an advantage. To make summer an advantage.
And
I
this year is going to be different, my friends, because we're playing Leagues Cup against Liga MX. The Orlando MLS is going to
Santos
take a break. Was that?
Santos Laguna, right? I think he's in our group.
Yes, thank you very much. That we're gonna be playing against Santos, revisiting Miguel Gallardo's hometown club,
Yeah, yeah,
who came to Orlando and beat us 1-0. I can't believe it. But anyhow, so we're gonna take a break to play this World Cup style tournament. So this year we're not gonna see the situation of weather and all that being a factor, but definitely. We need to make some of our advantage. It's something that every podcast,
yeah,
everybody has said for a long time that our weather works against us. It has never been an advantage. Even when we play teams like Miami, they play us harder, and
yeah,
they are supposed to be the team further south. So you guys tell me.
yeah. We need to better our home field advantage, and that goes with these new players having a fantastic preseason and having depth, which is what we lacked last season, and doing these crazy experiments, right? So, for example, let's put this back. So, for example, the crazy experiments, right? So, for example, ended up with you know Ivan Angulo as an eight, or maybe Felipe, having three out back, right, and not being able to practice three out back, or playing with five out back, and unknowing, so we did a lot of things that because of depth and because of injuries,
Hmm.
Oscar had to tap in to attempt to not to over drain his players, but also to leave them with gas left in the tank for the next game that was coming up 3 days from that
Yeah,
from then,
Luis, we
right?
have some questions about the roster from our friends on the comments.
Where?
Um, Mr. J Santos asking about Martin Ojeda, which we know he's coming.
Right,
Um,
right. Yeah, we read that when you left.
Okay. I'm sorry. Okay,
Yeah.
great. My bad.
And then Etromic, LAFC didn't renew Christian Tello, kind of surprising, but I guess he was a surplus on the roster.
But they
Christian
had a great
Tello.
roster too.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
right.
not for nothing. The winning goal was scored by a legendary European football player that was eating the bench. If that doesn't scream to you, we're reeking with talent. I don't know what does. You know what I mean? And not only that, a World Cup player.
Yeah, I
So
mean, I mean, where do I see Orlando City? And I mean, first and foremost, you got to support Orlando City no matter what. I don't care who
absolutely.
you are. That's number one. But number two is I would love to see Orlando City actually trying to compete for the MLS Cup. I mean, that's my aspirations. I mean, and also I would love to win the U.S. Open Cup again. You know what I mean? That's just now Leagues Cup and CONCACAF Champions League. Now, if we beat Tigres, now it's on. Now the pressure's on.
Yes.
And Orlando. I mean, it's gonna be huge for Orlando beating Tigres. I
And
mean,
Leagues Cup gives you a CCL spot, by the way.
right? So
It
we
does
have
give,
we have like two tournaments that we could have CCL availability.
oh,
So I
three of
think
them: MLS,
three of them.
Open
Yep.
Cup.
Yep.
You know, so
So I think it's gonna be. I mean, or and win the majority of games at home because that's gonna drive up fan base for sure. Heads in seats, right? Or butts in seats, or whatever you want to call it. I think. I mean, people want to feel, especially people that are casual fans, right? Casual fans of the product. They want to make sure that they see their team winning, and when they go and they spend $80 for a ticket, they want to see them win.
no, we have discussed that in this
Yep.
podcast. If people on social media, personally, people know that I always said that the because a lot of people are like, oh, the club doesn't owe me anything. That's a lie, my friends. The club owes you to go on the pitch, play the best football they can, and try to win the game. Try to win the game. This Herm Edwards, who in 2002 was the coach of the New York Jets, was asked what's the greatest thing about sports, and he answered in what is now an iconic historic moment in American sports. He said, "Do you know what's the greatest thing in sports? You play to win the game. I don't care if you have no wins. You play to win. That's important. If you don't think it matters, you need to retire because it matters." And that, my friends, it's what matters. I have said it many times. I spent thousands of dollars in this club, money that I could have put on a 401k or a bank. I mean, I will be a rich man. But the reality is that I want to support my club. I follow my club, and if my team goes and plays hard, and we lose, when too bad, so sad. We're gonna lose games, right? What we saw when we closed the 2019 season, when Chicago Fire, that had nothing to lose, came to our house and beat us. And for James O'Connor, it was another day at the office, guys. I walked away from that game, and I am embarrassed to say that it's the only time that I didn't even finish a game. I just left. I'm done with this because I was hurt that the club that I loved was just no intention of winning the game. Perhaps because James O'Connor already knew that he no longer had the job, and he just threw whatever on the pitch, which that tells me a lot about his personal views of the game of football. But that's a story for another day. The fact of the matter is, we have to play to win. And I'm gonna throw something out there that nobody's talking about. Benjamin Michel might not be here next year, or in 2023. There's rumors that Benji is going to Second Division France, and that's the reason why you haven't heard from him. He has been absent on social media. When we had the ability to go into the locker room, his shirt wasn't there. You haven't heard anything from him. It's because he wants to. He wanted to leave. That's what I heard. So that's another prolific player. I know somewhere else I was listening to a podcast and they say, "Oh, well, it's just a guy that scored 2 goals in a season." Okay, look at the assist and the goals that he scored. Important. We can't downplay people that score goals and that assist. Teshua Kindeli, half this fan base hated his guts, but when you look at the games that he won against New York City and against Charlotte, we barely made playoffs. Imagine if those games would have ended in ties. There's no way we would have made playoffs. None. But Teshua Kindela got us over the line. So, my friends, we have to look at things like that way. And again, it's an enigma of what we're gonna look like this month. I can guarantee you that we're gonna have a clearer picture. But we gotta support the club. We gotta be there. Orlando City can count on me, but at the same time, don't take me for granted. I'm not stupid. If we have to go and win games. And I finish with this. My two overseas teams, fantastic seasons. Maccabi Haifa is first in the league, about to repeat for the third time in a row championship
Wasabi.
in Israel. Went to CCL last year. Yes, they came in and Messi did whatever he had to do with them at their own house, but that's life. PSG against a little Israeli team, and Stevenage is 2 points away from first place in League Two, about to get promoted, and it's not even freaking January 2nd. Those teams in years past, they almost put me in the grave, but they did what we have to do here in Orlando. This is why I say to people, if my overseas teams have been eating steak, I can come here to eat the number two value McDonald's. I can't do that. Orlando City has to offer me better, because Orlando City is 10 minutes away from where I'm sitting right now. So the fact is they did two things that have been screaming here. They went and got a manager that could get the results, and they got the players that will play for that manager and deliver those results. That's what we have to do here in Orlando. We have to get the players. I believe that Oscar Pareja is going to get us over the hump. He already brought us a trophy. He already got us to the playoffs. Wounded, limping, but he got us over the playoffs, something that nobody could do 5 years before he arrived in Orlando.
That's right.
And at the end of the day, my friends, we have to accept. We have to accept this, because we cannot move forward if we don't accept that during the Flavio Augusto da Silva's ownership, the roster was built based on how much money we can afford to invest on the roster. It wasn't about talent. It wasn't about system. It wasn't about none of that crap that we've been fed over the years. It's not true. And you know why I'm telling you this? Because Ricardo Moreira says it in the interview that he had in P2 Power podcast. That he said, I don't want to talk trash about all the people before I got here, but the fact of the matter is that money is not an issue. Money is not an issue. Talent and the character of the player is what we're looking at. And when he said that, I fell on my couch unconscious for 30 minutes, because somebody needed to say it. Finally, somebody needed to say it. We were going to the Dollar Generals, the bargain bin at the Dollar General to get players, when Atlanta, Miami, and all these other places we're shopping at Bloomingdale's. That's the problem, my friends. So with that, hopefully that puts that to rest, and I'll shut up for a minute.
No, Luis, and David, I just want to ask something, because we have been talking about this in previous episodes, and today you bring that up, David and Luis. Who is the next veteran player that Orlando should sign? We have Kaká and we have Nani at some point, and we have Pato. Who is that person for this season that Orlando needs to sign?
I mean, it would have been fantastic to sign Luis Suarez, but he's in Gremio now,
Right.
so he's playing in the Brazilian league. You know, I mean, if you really want to dream, you could
Hey, you never know.
Neymar could be that other person too.
Yeah. Is
You
he coming
know,
here for?
he could come here, but
It's gonna cost a lot of
Money.
money.
and I mean, you're talking about how old is Neymar now?
30,
Uh,
34, 35?
Something.
no, Neymar, no,
He's younger. He's like 31,
yeah,
32.
he was born in '92, so you're talking
Oh,
Thir-
wow.
about
30,
Okay.
30.
So
yeah, he's
30,
30. He's 30 years old. He's in the
turning
perfect
31.
age. In the perfect age for MLS.
Yeah, Modric, Thomas Dupree, Modric. That's one. Listen, I like some players in the leagues that my teams play. People that you have never heard of, that I think, or people that play for my overseas teams that I think can make the transition to MLS, and do some damage here. But if we're gonna be talking about big names, Modric sounds fantastic. There's somebody in the Spanish league that just is out of contract, and I can't remember his name. I think it's a Real Madrid player. You guys know?
Oh, he's a defender. Yep, I
Yes.
know who's. Yes, give me 1 second.
Yeah. Thank you, Paola. So there's some names out there. I'm gonna be honest with you. Aside from the name, because Kaká did fantastically here. The problem with Kaká was that it was Kaká and 11 other dudes. You know what I mean? And 10 other dudes. That was the problem with the teams that Kaká played in. The thing is that one thing I miss is Nani's hunger for winning. Nani is which when we lifted that trophy, I wanted Nani to be there so
Oh, there
bad.
you go. There you go.
Isco, there you go.
There you
Thank you,
Isco.
go.
my friend Brian.
Beautiful. Thank you,
Now,
Brian.
Isco is being linked to LA Galaxy now.
Woo!
Now, I mean, you're talking about. I mean, yeah, I understand Isco's been, pushed around after leaving Madrid and things like that. But I think he's a fantastic player. Now, who do we have in Isco's position? We already have Mauricio Pereira, which we pay a lot of money. He's still a DP.
Uh, Facu can
Again,
play Mauricio Pereira position as well.
I mean, you could add a couple of, you could add a couple of people, right? I mean, but if you're talking about
I'm
name
talking about
recognition,
big name. Yeah.
Yeah,
you
but
know, I'm a
to
big
me, they have
name.
to bring that energy, guys. They have to bring that. Let's
It could
follow this
be,
guy to hell and back.
yeah, right. Like for example, Neymar. It could be Cristiano Ronaldo. You know what I mean? Like those are names that you're gonna be like, I don't know if you saw Cristiano Ronaldo just went to the Saudi league to play for Al Nassr, and the club had 865,000 followers on Instagram. He
No, have
joined the team.
millions.
He had 2.3 million followers, and that's insane, right? So same with Kaká. Kaká, a lot of people downplay Kaká. Kaká won the Ballon d'Or. I mean, Kaká was the best player in the world at some point. Yeah, he had some injuries. Maybe his move to Madrid was a little bit, you know, too
Hmm.
fast. I think he should have stayed in Italy and win more in Milan. He probably not gotten as injured, but he's a phenomenal player. Now Nani the same. I mean Nani, I guess to me Nani was surprising because I always saw Nani when he played Manchester United as a number two. So he was never the leader. He was never the head of. He was never the
Oh,
star.
here, forget about it.
He was never the star in United. He came to Orlando. He said, "Hey, give me the biggest, heaviest backpack you have. Let me put it on, and let me be the captain of your team. Let me take over right now."
Absolutely.
And he
We just need
delivered.
that leadership.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
all.
And then
But
he
that's what we
matched.
miss.
He matched really well with Oscar too. So you
Hmm.
have to
Hmm.
find somebody that is able to work with other people too. You don't want you know Neymar to destroy the foundation Oscar has built,
No,
right?
no, and if you look back at our history, you had Antonio Nocerino who came here, and
Yeah.
the guy bought into the team. I mean, the attitude, fans fall in love with people that they seem that they feel that are trying, that are playing. Junior Urso leaves a huge shoes to fill in this club
Mhm.
because aside from I mean, if you look at the highlights of the last game at home when we defeated Columbus, he scored that goal. The first thing he goes is he punches the air and says "Vamos," and that section he's facing went buck wild. You would have thought this was a tent revival. I'm sorry if I'm offending anybody by saying that, but that's the crowd went wild, and that's what we need. We need names, we need people, and perhaps we have them already. They just haven't been given the opportunity to prove that to us, or perhaps they're coming in. People like Jake Mulroney, who play for Stevenage, I have to say that, are still remembered in England fondly because they're like the guy played like he cared. And when I told people that he was playing for Orlando, they sent me videos and pictures and things. It's what you leave behind, guys. And
Right.
no, we're running out of time,
Look,
but
look. That's another name. Lukaku. I mean, he's not.
Cavani,
Cavani's a free agent. No, he's not a free agent. I think he's
is it?
signed.
Okay.
Jordi Alba also. But you're talking about these are players that I mean. Jordi Alba is a playmaker. He's not a leader. I mean, talking about the face of your club is not going to be Jordi Alba. I'm just trying to be, you know what I mean? Like honest here. Like the face of the club is a player that it's gonna it's gonna mean more than just a club. He's an entity by himself. These are the Neymars, the Messis, the Ronaldos. The Kakas of the world, right? It says Emily Dinsmore. I think we will see a few of those type of guys develop this year. I think about how hungry Araujo was in the cup run.
Oh my God, when he scored his 2 goals, forget about it. Running and kissing that badge, forget it. I mean, we sold
Take
our
my money.
stash of shirts, Araujo shirts that night. When he did that, that place went buck wild.
That's right. That's right. Well, we're gonna go ahead and just read some more comments, and then we're gonna close. It's over an hour and a half now. It says we were linked to Diego Rivas for like 5 straight years. It never happened. Oliver Giroud. Giroud will be fantastic, but I think he'd be a fantastic number 9. Yeah, probably too late now. It says welcome Cueva to Orlando City. Señor Mateo Tirado Rojas. Increíble este señor. Valera Orlando, Flex, Valera Orlando, could be. I mean, I don't know. Maybe. Jordi Alba will fitting nicely. Thomas Dupree, epic analogy. David Sizzy Tromic. We
I have
gotta
my moments.
gotta grow from being a fringe playoff teams. Tired of these new expansion teams entering the league immediately completed. But yes, I agree with you. And the reason why they do this, I want to say hello to Austin, is because immediate impact players. Here's my money, dude. And I understand Orlando's trying to do it the right way with low cost, high reward. Totally understand. It does work. But at this level of how we analyze the roster today of Orlando City, we need a striker. We need a proven striker. We need a proven center back or a left back. So these are positions that are key for Orlando to move forward down the road. So thank you so much for watching the show today. I want to tell everyone again to please subscribe to the channel. We are available on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter as Loud and Proud Orlando. Click on the notification bell for all notifications. Last comments, Paola.
Hey, don't forget, Tiro de Esquina is coming back 2023. Don't forget to subscribe, please, please, please. And thank you for listening to us every single Monday.
There you go, David.
Yes, follow me on Twitter, Florida_man76. And the legendary David is my vlog where I expand on my incredibly stupid takes sometimes. So please, let's just support Orlando. Let's get excited. Let's get excited about the season. And thank you very much for joining us. Some of you guys stay the whole time. Appreciate that.
Let's read some more comments real quick. Alvaro Pesan, I want to say hello to my friend Alvaro from Ladre el Fútbol. He says, Salomon Rondon and Osil could be options. If we talk about stars, another name will be Amrabat. So the guy from Morocco, right? The brother, right?
Good, good, good.
I mean, those are good names, right? I mean, those are players that will love to come play here for sure. Thanks, guys. Says Thomas Dupree. Thank you so much for watching the show today. We'll be back next week. Thank you for your support. And also, before I go, I want to encourage everyone, if you want to cover Orlando City and you want to go ahead and join our team, feel free to do so. Send us a message through Instagram or Facebook. You will get to cover Orlando City, OCB, Orlando Pride, writers, journalists, City Pride fans. Send us a DM. We're going to make an announcement soon for a new podcast here, Loud and Proud Orlando. They'll be just for Orlando Pride. So we're going to be looking for some people that would like to talk about the NWSL. So it won't be all us three, but we want to make sure that we build a team just like us three here to join and take over the Orlando Pride part of Orlando of Loud and Proud Orlando. So if you're interested and you want to join this, Loud and Proud, DM me, DM Loud and Proud Orlando on Instagram, and then we'll go ahead and reach out. But thank you so much for all your support. Thank you for listening to us as well. If you're listening this, and vamos Orlando. See you guys.
Vamos, Orlando.